Come on, man. Just say it. Say it. Just say it.
Hey, Dote, what's up?
Yeah, that's right.
How about you, huh? How about you?
Whoa. That's none of your business, okay?
It's the Culture Detective here investigating your favorite animes, and today I am going to do another anime review. Lately people have been pretty upset about me, I guess, I think. I don't know, but I get the feeling. So if I offend you with this review, I'm so sorry, okay? But anyways, today I'm going to do a review on Kaguya-Sama Love is War Season 2, or in Japanese, Kaguya-Sama wa kokurasetai tensai tachi no renai tsunosen. Season 2. Let's go. So, Kaguya-sama Love is War is an anime from the studios that is A1 Pictures, adapted from the manga, written and illustrated by Akasaka Aka. And this is the second season. Now, I have watched season 1 a while ago, and by a while I mean a week, and I thought it's a little bit disappointing because it didn't live up to the hype, in my opinion. It has received a lot of popular and critical acclaim, but in my opinion, season 1 is just pretty good, but not necessarily all that great. I mean, essentially, it's just a bunch of rom-com skits stitched together, and most of them are hits, but some of them are misses, and it results in a just pretty good anime, not really all that great. However, Kaguya-sama Love is War has returned for season 2 last year in 2020, so I'm going to review it now. So, it's actually good. I actually like this season way more than season 1. For one, we have more Ishigami Yu, who is still my personal favorite character of the entire anime. He is the most fleshed out, most three-dimensional, and the most likable. Second of all, we have more of Hayasaka Ai, who is, I know, best girl in this anime. And also, number 3, we have a new character introduced in this anime, and that is Iino Miko. I'm going to talk about her a little bit later. First off, the OP is once again Suzuki Mayasuki, I think that's his name, and his daughter duetting in Daddy Daddy Do Hashino Sa. This OP is groovy. It's groovin'. I absolutely love it. I like this even more than the OP for season 1. Maybe the animation part of things are a little bit better in the season 1 OP, but still this song slaps, and the guy has so much charisma. The ED is not as good as season 1's. It's a little basic, but who cares? So, season 2. I actually enjoyed most of the episodes. Episode 1 starts off really action packed with Hayasaka Ai sort of hopping through these laser beams and sneaking into the student council room to swap coffee powders, and I really like that. I really like the Mission Impossible parody intro as well. I thought it's really creative, and another really aggressively hilarious and sad thing that happened in this episode is basically the entire student council taking a peek through the gap between the doors outside of the student council and inside the student council. It's the boyfriend and the girlfriend who kept on asking for relationship advices in season 1, and they finally became a thing, and they were like kissing around and fooling around inside the student council room, and Shirogane and Chika and Kaguya, they were all outside the student council room just peeking like, oh my god, they're about to do it, oh my god. I would be really upset too if that happens. Episodes 2 and 3 are a little bit more boring, a little bit more slow paced. Episode 2 is where Kaguya shops with. Oh, by the way, if you haven't seen season 1, I recommend you watch the season 1 review. But essentially, Shirogane Miyuki and Shinomiya Kaguya, they are in the student council, and they're the president and the vice president respectively. They love each other, but they can't confess to one another, and this is basically the war. Whoever confesses first loses the war, and it's just a bunch of rom-com skits. So anyway, on episode 2, Kaguya shops with Shirogane's younger sister, Kate. And yeah, it was also Shirogane's birthday, and Kaguya really wanted to buy him something, but she didn't know what to buy. So there's that. And then on episode 3, we have this stargazing scene, and which reminds me a little bit of Bakemonogatari, but we'll return to that a little later as well. And I don't necessarily like episode 3 because at the end of episode 3 it's like, oh, season 1 flashbacks, you know, oh, the nostalgia for something that happened in last season. Essentially, the school year has ended and they had to stop being the student council because the student council is an annual thing. So they had to quit, they had to say bye-bye to the student council room, and they had collected a lot of like memorabilia and all that, like in photos and stuff, and they were like, oh my god, the nostalgia, oh my god. And then all of these scenes are supposedly really emotional, but they all feel kind of wasted because screw it, they applied for being the student council again, and they succeeded again. So what the heck. Also, I don't know if student council is a thing in the USA. I think it is. But in Hong Kong, you can't really be the student council again if you already have. That's kind of illegal. So I don't know how they pulled it off, but apparently they did. Anyways, episode 4 is where things get really entertaining. First of all, Kaguya was really frustrated that she can't get Shirogane to confess, so she complained to her maid because she came from a really rich family, so she has a personal maid, and her maid is a Hayasaka Ai, and Hayasaka decides to, you know what, she's gonna do it. Hayasaka is gonna hit on Shirogane, and Hayasaka was actually really, really good at it, which is really great. Also, there is a Bakemonogatari reference on this episode, which is really, really smart. It appears that people behind this story are men and women of culture as well. Another thing in this episode that's really memorable is when Shirogane wanted to ask Kaguya to do this, to present on stage during assembly, to talk about their student council, their policies, so that they can get elected, you know, the election speech. And Shirogane wanted to ask Kaguya to do it, and everybody's like, oh my god, Shirogane is gonna confess to Kaguya, oh my gosh. And that's actually not it, but everyone thinks it is. So everybody's watching from all 4 sides, and it's just so much pressure, and it's pretty interesting to see how it turned out. And we finally get introduced to a character that is Iino Miko, who is this little girl, and she's really straight-edged and really harsh. She believes that the school needs to be more disciplined, that people should have uniform haircuts, and that they shouldn't break any rules whatsoever. And of course, nobody really voted for her because more school rules? Are you kidding me? More school rules? Screw that. Episode 5, we have the sleep deprivation fetish, where one day Shirogane went back to school and everybody's like, oh my god, what happened to you? What happened to you? You're like a different person. Turns out Shirogane slept on that day, so he looked normal, but because he had been sleep deprived the whole time in the entire anime, so now him having slept is not normal. And people actually enjoyed his new look, except for Kaguya. So Shirogane tried to impress Kaguya by being extra sleep deprived. And everybody thought that, maybe if Shirogane did this, it would just backfire on him, But no, Kaguya actually has a sleep deprivation fetish. So there is that. Next up, we have another installment in the Fujiwara teaches Shirogane something saga. In season 1, we have Fujiwara Chika teaching Shirogane how to play volleyball, which is pretty memorable and funny. And this time, Chika tries to teach Shirogane how to sing. On episode 6, one of my favorites of the entire anime so far, in my opinion, it is the election day, where two student council, actually there's 3, but we only see 2 student councils, 2 student council nominees anyways. One is Shirogane's student council and the other is Iino Miko's student council. They had to present on stage like speech, hey, vote for me, and wow, Iino Miko was terrible. She had stage fright. I mean, not only was her student council policies terrible and people hated that, but she had stage fright and she was like shaking and she couldn't speak on stage. And Shirogane, being the kind-hearted man that he is, decided to help her out by distracting her, and it actually worked. And I thought it's just a really memorable episode where people actually help their opponents. In a way, it kind of antagonizes them and antagonizes themselves, but it actually works out, and it's really memorable. Episode 7 is where who was it? Decided to change clothes. It was Ishigami Yu, the loner, socially awkward kid. Ishigami Yu changed clothes in the student council room. And another really relatable thing, I haven't done it, but I know that before PE class, some classmates of mine, they would just, just change clothes in the classroom. Nobody cares. And usually the girls would go to the girls' bathroom, and some boys, some extroverted and really bold boys would be like, you know what, I'm just going to change my clothes in the classroom, and girls would walk back and they would be like, oh my god, fuck. And there's this whole black lingerie thing because Kaguya was told that boys who like boxer briefs are fuck boys. So Kaguya tries to trick Shirogane to reveal what kind of underwear he likes, but Shirogane misunderstood that and thought Kaguya asked him because Kaguya wants to impress him by wearing the underwear that he likes for her to wear. And it has caused a lot of misunderstanding, and I don't know why, but every time Iino Miko enters the student council, like something really awkward and embarrassing and sexual would happen, and Iino Miko would be like, oh my god, this student council, man, it's like a sex club. I need to quit. And the episode also has a huge post-credit scene where basically everybody's having shoujo manga brain, where after they read a shoujo manga, they would feel like they're living in a shoujo manga. And this anime kind of parodies that with a different art style, with over-the-top line deliveries and all that, and I thought it's really funny. Anyways, episode 8 is where they try to spoil Miko, because she's this really straight-edge person who really wants rules. So Chika was like, you know what? You can't be angry for an hour. And that was pretty funny. And the more memorable and embarrassing scene in this episode is Kaguya and Shirogane trapped themselves in the gym storage room. They didn't trap themselves, but they were basically trapped. But Shirogane thought Kaguya did this intentionally to trap him, and then Kaguya thought Shirogane did this intentionally to trap her. They both think it's not real, but it's real. They were actually trapped, and they thought it's not real, and they were being tricked. And it's it has resulted in one really embarrassing scene. Last 4 episodes are fantastic. Episode 9 is where Iino Miko is like, oh my god, the student council is like a sex club. I need to quit. And her best friend tried to talk her out of it, and she's like, oh, you're right. Shirogane might actually be a good person. Which means Kaguya is an evil woman. Oh my god. And that's hilarious. We have Kaguya being really stressed out because one time Shirogane like touched her hair and she fainted. So Kaguya's just freaking out, and Hayasaka I told her to find her routine. So she started dancing, she started voguing, which is really cool. I really, really want to see like a dance scene for each character in every season. Like we have the Chika dance in season 1, and then now we have Kaguya voguing in season 2. I really want to see more. I really want to see Ishigami dancing. Has he done that? Technically, but not really. So there's that. And then immediately afterwards, we have this Street Fighter parody scene where it's Kaguya versus Shirogane, them trying to speak to one another but can't. Another really creative and fun moment. Episode 10 is where Shirogane and everyone else were preparing for the sports festival or sports day, which is also something that's a thing in Hong Kong, by the way. And apparently everybody in this second year in senior secondary school had to perform Soran Bushi, and Shirogane is terrible in it, so Chika had to teach him. On the sports day itself, we have Kaguya meeting Shirogane's dad, and yeah, there are a lot of anime scenes where it's like, ooh, the main character's love interest meets the main character's dad. Oh my god, I don't know what to do. And it turned out to be quite wholesome and amazing, where Shirogane's dad is like, oh, my son is a loser. But he wasn't like, my son is a loser. He's like, oh, Shirogane is a loser. And Kaguya was like, I disagree. I think he's a great man. He's a kind man. And Kaguya didn't know that the guy is Shirogane's dad. So that was pretty memorable. And then we have episode 11, which is easily my favorite episode of the entire anime. And it's not comedic. It's actually really dramatic. Almost jarringly dramatic, but in a way it makes sense, because in the entire episode we see Ishigami use backstory. Why did he end up being an antisocial, loner, loser person? And wow, it's kind of sad. Now, in the season 1 review, I was like, wow, Ishigami, he's literally me. He's literally me. Now I take that back. I can't say I've experienced something like he did, where he basically falls in love with a girl who has a boyfriend, and he found out that the girl's boyfriend is cheating on her, and so he fought more like he punched the girl's boyfriend, and everybody saw it, and the girl's boyfriend was like, you can't win love with violence, I will love her forever. And everybody's on the boyfriend's side, and everybody hated Ishigami because of that. And everybody hated Ishigami, and he was suspended, and he had to write an apology letter, but he just can't because he wanted to tell the truth. So his backstory was really, really sad. But it's sort of redeemed with this sports festival arc, where he finally finds a group of people who supports him, who likes him, and who would cheer with him even if he isn't like the best of the best of the best. And yeah, in a sense, I wish I have done something like him when I was in secondary school. I wish I would find a group of people who would, really support me, but that never really happened. But still a really very emotional, fulfilling episode, I have to say. The entire redemption arc is amazing. Also, the scene with the girl yelling at Ishigami, the girl who Ishigami had a crush on, yelling at him, and Ishigami's like, "Urusai baka." That was amazing. You go, boy. You go, boy. Anyways, episode 12 is, I'm actually kind of surprised because season 1 ended off pretty dramatically with the whole fireworks episode, but season 2 ended off not so dramatically. The last episode is pretty much a regular, basic rom-com episode. It's episode 11 that's really dramatic, but episode 12 is the usual rom-com stuff. And I actually kind of appreciate this decision to make the season 2 ending not as dramatic as the second last episode. That's almost like saying that, you know what, at the end of the day, just have fun. You know, things don't have to be really dramatic. You know, just have fun, just enjoy life, just move on. You know, and I really like that. Essentially, at the end, we have the photo taking, where Kaguya broke her flip phone, so she had to buy a smartphone, and we also have the final scene of the entire season 2, where they play this balloon pumping game. It's a lot of fun, it's memorable, not necessarily the most memorable scene in the entire season, but I'll say that it ends off in a wholesome and in a memorable way. So yeah, season 2 of Kaguya-Sama Love is War, I think it's great. I actually enjoyed this way more than season 1. I think Ishigami Yu is a great character, and still my favorite character of the season. My least favorite, other than the side characters who are usually not that memorable, my least favorite character might actually be Chika, like out of the gang, simply because you can sum up her entire personality with one word, and that is cute. She's cute. That's it. But other characters have more layers to them, especially Ishigami Yu. And Hayasaka Ai is also really interesting. I really want to see more of her next season. But yeah, season 2, it's a good one. My favorite episode here is episode 11, and my least favorite is episode 3. I am giving Kaguya-Sama Love is War season 2 an 8 out of 10. So, have you watched Kaguya-Sama Love is War Season 2 from 1 to 10, which is rated? Like, if you like it, and subscribe if you want more. And thanks for watching. Next anime, Attack on Titan, final season.